What's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro duel video, the new Shaddoll Link monster. On first sight, when I saw the card I was like, this card isn't really that great. Wow, they definitely nuked my hopes for, you know, getting a good Shaddoll Link monster. But then again, after some further testing and thinking, it all makes sense, this new Shaddoll Construct Link monster. Again, it's a Link 2, its arrows might seem strange, you know, middle left and middle right, but it all makes sense, again, because of its effect. You will see it in a couple of moments. Real low attack, and the first problem, well, two things I need to address here. First of all is that getting this card on the field is super hard. You need 2 flip effect monsters on your side of the field, and you know, yeah, Shaddolls, for example, Subterrors, but that's not really too great. So focusing on Shaddolls here, getting 2 Shaddoll monsters on the field, 2 flip effect monsters on the field is kinda hard, so I'm looking for cards that can easily, well, not make it so hard, like investing too many cards to get this Shaddoll Construct on the field, you know, making too many minuses, while on first sight, while this card isn't really that fantastic, you're not gaining too many pluses out of this card, right? You're investing too much resources to get your Shaddoll Construct on the field. So that leaves me looking for, you know, cards slash engines to make this card somewhat easily summonable. And first of all, we have Rescue Cat. Well, the Rescue family can get this card on the field with relative ease. I was playtesting Rescue Cat, but that leaves you with like main decking something like Ryko, for example. It's like a light for BLS, and if Shaddoll Construct would have been legal, not banned, then running those lights definitely was acceptable, definitely debatable. But nope, Shaddoll Construct, the fusion one, is not TCG legal, not OCG legal as well. It might come off of the ban list, but for now, not legal. So adding in those not really too great cards because of Rescue Cat, like Ryko, for example, I really didn't like that. So the one of Rescue Ferret is in the main deck. I prefer it a little bit over Rescue Cat. Since again, you don't really want to run those dead cards, but then again, the small downside, you already have to have your Link monster on the field with your arrows pointing downwards, and then you can use your Rescue Ferret, right? And that brings me to the second problem. Well, yeah, it's not really a problem, but you know what I mean, with the Grinder Golem and Gofu. Both these cards, and I know a lot of people are like complaining, why are you splashing these cards into pretty much every deck? Well, Konami wants us to, guys. I'm not really sure if you have seen the article, I believe it was posted 2 weeks ago, that Konami is actually talking about Grinder Golem and, you know, showcasing the possibilities of Grinder Golem going into Link format. So it's actually them not pushing them. Well, yeah, they're pushing Grinder Golem. So we have seen this in the past, guys, with something like Pot of Duality being a super staple. You had to play 3 of those Desires as well, a short period. Tour Guide going into the Exceed format, early Exceed format, where, you know, you had to pretty much main deck triple Tour Guide and Sengen to have somewhat of a competitive deck. Same for now, guys. Triple Grinder Golem, the one Gofu, they just, it's like Goku using the KO can times 20. Well, that's adding in yeah, Grinder Golem and Gofu to the main deck. It's just boosting up, it raises the ceiling of the deck so much. You have to main deck these, and for good reason, as you'll see in a couple of moments. Sorry, let's see a couple of example duels. Alright, a couple of examples, again, just showcasing the possibilities of what you can do. The first example here features the Rescue family. First of all, Rescue Cat, well, the opponent gets a start. He's eventually going to end, I believe, with a regular Minerva and the new Link Lightsworn Kyrios, I believe. My opening hand is okay. The Shaddoll Fusion, very nicely. If the opponent has like an extra deck summoned monster, I can, of course, use the materials from my deck. Then again, it's definitely ashable, so that's something to keep in mind. A lot of darkness, some standard draw shenanigans, draw power, and this is where, you know, the arrows of your Shaddoll Link monster make sense. You can, for example, you know, Rescue Cat, special summon in your extra deck zone, and then use its effect, built-in effect, to fusion summon, because, you know, it has a built-in fusion summoning effect, using itself and any other Shaddoll monster. That Shaddoll monster will trigger, let's say Hedgehog or Falco, to fusion summon for, you know, your Winda, for example. And then you can use your Shaddoll Construct Link monsters in grave effect to you know, send any Shaddoll card on your side of the field or from your hand to the graveyard to special summon itself. And you know, that special summon doesn't need to be in the extra monster zone, so special summon it in the middle of your field, and there is where both markers come into play, pointing middle left and middle right, so you know, giving you some extra monster zones. So that's definitely very nice, and that definitely makes sense why the Shaddoll monsters, or at least why this Link monster, this Link Shaddoll, has these markers. Again, it's once per turn, so special summon again in the middle of my field, use Akashic Magician to bounce back my BLS, use it twice, but again here I wanted to make sure that I end it with a Firewall Dragon mutual linked, so I can use its bounce effect during my opponent's turn and a Winda. So again, we know the opponent has BLS in his hand, so if he likes special summon something, probably the BLS, I can just bounce it back with Firewall Dragon and then block all of his special summons because of Winda. Again, Winda being face up on the field. I think you need to main deck triple Winda. It's one of the better, yeah, currently if not the best, to go to Shaddoll fusion monster in your extra deck. Shaggy Naga of course as well, but other than that, you don't really want to make other options, right? And here, the second advantage of this Shaddoll Link monster, you know, with the markers like Proxy Dragon, you can mutual link with, you know, your Firewall Dragon to bounce back, get back 2 cards. So again, that's quite good. Another example here is of course Grinder Golem, the Grinder Golem package. Again, Konami definitely knows what they are doing, and if Grinder Golem is not touched, you have to main deck it. The advantage you can make is just bonkers. Again, making Firewall Dragon mutual linked with Akashic Magician. Akashic Magician activates, so you can, you know, you can just mill 4 cards and call any card, like most of the time I'm calling Solemn Strike or a Hand Trap, and then maybe if one of those called cards is between one of those 4 milled cards, you can get it back to your hand. Again, very, very strong, and potentially with Akashic Magician you can trigger your your Shaddoll monsters as well. So again, one Grinder Golem can put so much work on the field, and you know, eventually use your Shaddoll Link monster indeed mutual link with a middle Firewall Dragon, and that middle Firewall Dragon was again very crucial, since you know, you don't want to leave that Grinder Golem on your opponent's side of the field. So I can bounce back 2 cards, and I believe I bounced back the BLS in my hand, and of course the Grinder Golem, my Grinder Golem on my opponent's side of the field. And you know, that's somewhat of important, is that eventually you can also use that Grinder Golem for the fusion summon of your Winda. So again, Grinder Golem being a dark, things go together, guys. Again, go for Winda, again using the effect, the grave effect of my Shaddoll Link monster. Again, very, very good, definitely a good effect. It's just the problem, and the biggest problem is just get this guy on board. Grinder Golem, okay, Gofu, as you'll see in a couple of moments, the Rescue Cat, other things maybe, but other than that, it just needs so many resources to get on the field, and you're not gaining that much advantage out of it. So that's definitely the biggest problem. The effect is bonkers, but again, getting it on board is just, it's just too hard. Gofu again is definitely an option. If you want, you can play like Crystron as well by searching out Shaddoll Falco from your deck, being a tuner, and then leaves you normal summoning, and then, yeah, go from there. Another option here is to go for the Sorcerer again, etc, etc, and leave Falco on the field with Winda. This is a decent field, but again, any kind of interruption might, you know, put me in a terrible position. I try to use the Foolish Burial effect here, but again, Ash Blossom negates that, so no Dragon Pop. The Wisdom Eye, I believe, yeah, and eventually would have a Ghost Ogred to search the continuous spell, which also what happened. Winda is good, but you know, Winda is as good as the top tier decks of the format, and you know, again, Spirals definitely have a hard time getting over the Winda, being that, yeah, they are like very low attack monsters, but that's not something if we can compare it with Pendulum Magicians. Pendulum Magicians can easily get rid of Winda, you know, with Joker boosting it up thanks to the Poison Magician, I believe, or Black Fang reducing the attack, so that's definitely not a problem for, yeah, Pendulum Magicians. Magicians, and you know, Sorcerer, the Astrograph Sorcerer, some more shenanigans on Ben the Magician's part. And yep, no Construct, but yeah, the deck needs something like Construct, that's fairly obvious, right, to deal with established boards, deal with big boss monsters from your opponent, otherwise it's not good enough. Another example again, yeah, pretty much the same again, Grinder Golem shenanigans. You go for Akashic Magician again, and eventually upgrading to Firewall Dragon, and then use Akashic to mill 4 cards. Already have the Ghost Ogre in hand, so I'm probably going to call Ash Blossom, I think. Hope I get lucky. Bounce back the Grinder, and yeah, call Ash Blossom if I'm not mistaken. I believe 2 Shaddolls indeed, get a search off of Hedgehog and Beast, drawing a card. Again, some nice advantage, all out of one Grinder Golem, guys. Go for Proxy Dragon, get a normal summon of any Shaddoll monster, doesn't really matter, and then keep upgrading thanks to the Sorcerer again, etc, etc. It's very easy to make this particular board of double Firewall Dragon into the Shaddoll Construct, 2 mutual linked cards, get something back, definitely bounce back that Grinder Golem, and get something back from the grave, like Maxi, Blackluster, something, you know, you milled with Akashic Magician earlier. So all you need is like a Grinder Golem and then 2 Shaddolls, and you know, your deck is like pretty much a lot of you're running a lot of Shaddoll monsters, right? Drawing a couple of Beast, Hedgehog, Squamata can definitely be valuable or viable targets to, you know, get this board on the field. I was running the, what is it called, the Synchro Magician with the Breaker effect, but I think I eventually dropped it from my main deck due to a second Shaggy Naga in my extra deck. Last example, the opponent gets to start with ABCs, I believe, and my opening hand is decent. Okay, he puts that extra deck monster on the field, so my Shaddoll Fusion will be very much alive, but you're seeing the Ash Blossom already in the hand of the opponent, so nope, the Shaddoll Fusion is not going to resolve eventually, and of course, yeah, it's the 6th card, BMXC, always being the 6th card. No hand traps, so I'm definitely going to lose this one. No answer to a very big established board. Yeah, maybe even with Construct, then again, yeah, his board and his hand was just too good, right? So I can't really do anything about this. So again, this is currently my build. Feel free to leave suggestions. The biggest problem of this new Shaddoll Link monster is getting it on the field. But if you get it on board, Rescue Cat, Grinder Golem, Gofu, the effect is very good. Again, very good. Use itself to go for the fusion summon, then special summon it back to the regular monster zones, and, you know, opening up more extra deck spaces. But as long as the fusion construct is still banned, the deck isn't really going to do anything. If Konami is going to give back Construct, then, yeah, then this deck might be a very solid tier 1 deck after that. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.